And we are back with BRX Pro Tips. Lee, Kantor and Stone Payton here with you. Lee, let's talk a little bit about the environment. What should a studio partner have in the studio?
Yeah, I think it's important for a new studio partner, especially to understand what are some of the elements that you should have inside the studio. And every studio obviously has their own personality and has their own stuff in it. But some of the things that we find useful in a studio is to have bottled water of some kind. And for us, we like to use the smallest size possible. I think we use 8-ounce size bottled water. We get them from Costco. It's not really because they're thirsty or dehydrated. They're just nervous. We used to give big bottles, like 20-ounce bottles of water, and then they take one sip and we're throwing away, full bottles. Now you give them a little bottle, they'll take the one sip and you feel better about throwing out the 8-ounce bottle instead of the 20-ounce bottle. Another thing we like to have is carpeting on the table. That for us, we do black carpeting over the tables, and that prevents the high-pitched noise like from rings or bracelets or watches that bang on the table when they are, just sitting there. A lot of people have a kind of little from nerves, they move around, and this kind of deadens some of that sound. Another thing that I think is important is to have some sort of a photo album or we have a TV in our studio, and to show photos of previous guests. That's important because the guests, as they're waiting their turn to be on the show, they're going to look around and they're going to see people they know in the studio. That'll make them feel comfortable and confident they're in a good place. Also, a TV screen allows you to put some sales messaging on the screen that can help open the doors for potential sales. Like you can say, sponsors available, or we do live remotes, things like that. That gives you some kind of subtle sales messaging opportunities. Another thing, we do the on-air light, super important. Creates some tension, makes it look like a real radio station. Mic flag, super important. Branded, you want to put some Business RadioX branding somewhere. If you have sponsors, that's a perfect place to add on one of the sides of the mic flag, add a sponsor sticker on one of the sides, or put sponsor stuff up around the room. Clean mic socks. You should be cleaning them or trading them out for new mic socks periodically. That's important because you don't want the guests to feel like there's been 100 people there before them. Anything else, Tom?
Kleenex, cough drops, writing pads. It sounds silly maybe a little bit, but I'll tell you what, when someone has a cold or their throat's a little scratchy or whatever, and I don't even put it out in the main table, I hold it back. And then when I see that happening, but somebody's got a scratchy throat and you reach back behind the desk and pull out a cough drop, you are a hero. And then if you have some Kleenex around, and then I like the idea of having the writing pads. I think some of that too is nerves. I think they just want something to doodle on.
Well, they like to write down the names of the people so they remember the who's sitting where.
Yeah, and you might even get your local printer to print you up some nice ones just to have that exposure. So those are 3 things that I like to do.